Hey guys, and what's going on? My name is Mags, and today we're going to be talking about how to take your photos off of your camera and import them into Lightroom. Let's go. Here we are at our desktop, and there's a couple things you're going to want to do before you go ahead and load up Lightroom. The first thing is you're going to want to make sure that your SD card is taken out of your camera and plug it directly into the computer. I usually never recommend people to use that little finicky data cable that comes with your camera, mainly because A, you're more prone to losing it, and B, it's not a direct connection between your SD card to your computer, so there's a lot of different points of failure there, where you could maybe not preload all of your photos onto your computer, or something could happen in the interim. So take your SD card out of your camera, slide it into your computer, and then you should see it pop up towards the bottom. If you're on a Windows computer, it'll be in your My Files folder. If you're in a Mac computer, it should be in your Finder. You can go ahead and go there. Then you're going to head over to where I have a Canon camera, so it'll say EOS Digital. If I do not have a Canon camera, it'll usually say something like Sony or Nikon or Panasonic or something to let you know what type of camera it came out of. And I've already preloaded an SD card with 6 different images. These are images taken at different times. Obviously, you can see the dates right here. Some were last year, some were this year. But this is essentially what it's going to look like when you load your SD card up. And this is very important. What you guys are going to want to do to keep your folders intact is you're going to want to take these images and go copy them from the SD card into a folder onto your desktop or in maybe your D drive or anything like that. So we're going to go ahead and do that right now. And a very simple and easy way to do that is on a Windows computer. I'm just going to open another file explorer right here. I have 2 hard drives in my computer, so I'm going to put it in my cold storage drive. I have a local disk C that's a solid state. I'm just going to go ahead and do new folder, and then I'm just going to name it Lightroom Import, because that's exactly what we're learning today. We're learning how to import our photos directly into Lightroom. And I'm going to go ahead and open that up. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and shift-click all of these if I want to, or if I can just go in and highlight them all. It doesn't really matter. On Mac, it should be the same thing. And just drag those over into my new folder, and I'm going to let them copy onto my hard drive. I've already have these on my hard drive already, so it's a quick copy over. Sometimes it might take longer. You'll notice the file name right here. It's not JPEG, it's .cr2. Those are raw images, and we'll talk more maybe in another video about why that's important to take raw images or raw photos. So now I've got Lightroom Import as my folder here. I can go ahead and X out of both of these because I don't really need them. My files have now been physically transferred from my SD card onto my computer. So now we can open Lightroom and start importing our photos directly into Lightroom so we can start working with them and start editing them. From here, we're going to go ahead and open Lightroom. Might take a little bit to go ahead and pop up and load. There's a couple of things that are going to pop up directly on the screen. We're not really going to worry about all of our modules right here just yet. This is a more in-depth tutorial, and I can definitely jump into some of the other features. But primarily, we're going to make sure that this tab right here, Library, is highlighted. This is where we're going to be able to view all of our images. And we're going to make sure that this import button is able for us to click. Now, hold on just a moment. There's a thing in Lightroom that not a lot of people talk about. It's called collections. And when you make a collection or a catalog, it's a way for Lightroom to kind of keep all of your edits in one place. Hence, if I go and do a photo shoot, like I'm taking pictures at my sister's baby shower or something, I can go in and create a catalog within Lightroom that houses all of my sister's baby shower photos. Not only will it house the photos that I want to edit, but it will also keep the edits that I'm already working on. So if I'm halfway through an edit, or if I have already completed an edit with the finalized touches, opening that catalog will allow me to go ahead and see those changes. So I don't have to keep re-importing the photo. It saves all of your edits for you. A lot of people don't talk about this, but it's super important. Before you import any photos, before you press this button down here, you want to go up towards the top, go to File, New Catalog, and then we're going to go ahead and set a new catalog up. This is a project that I did with all of my headshots and stuff like that, where we worked on changing the backgrounds. But we're going to want to go into wherever we saved our photos from our SD card. I like to keep my catalog pretty much in line with everything that I have. So if I name that file like we did, which is Lightroom Import, so I'm going to go down here and go up to the L's and hit Lightroom Import. These are all of my raw files that are in here. I will go ahead and file name this catalog Lightroom imports edits or whatever else that you want. You can name it Lightroom imports again. It really doesn't matter. And then hit create. Now you're going to see Lightroom is opening the catalog for us that says Lightroom import edits. And if we go out to our file finder, we can actually go directly to my MASD drive, which is where I keep everything. I can head down to Lightroom import and I can see my Lightroom import edits catalog folder is with my raw files. You can choose to do this, or you can save them in a separate folder if you choose to do so. I like to keep them with my images because I feel like it keeps me a little bit more organized so I can see the raw images, but in here is where it's going to save all of my edits and things like that. So now that we've started a new catalog, we are going to go down here to import, and I'm actually going to go, you can take it from your SD card, but if I take my SD card out, obviously these are not going to be in here. We're going to want to go to Mass Storage D, which is where I keep everything. And we're going to go down to Lightroom Import, right down here. And we're going to go ahead and click on that, and these are all of my photos. So Lightroom Imports Edits is just my catalog. There's no subfolder in there. But these are all of the photos that are inside of this folder that's right here. This is the folder that we just made. So you can click to choose all photos, or you can choose maybe I only want to import 1 or 2. Maybe I only want to import new photos, or if I want to change my destination folder, I can do that. But for right now, we're just going to worry about the basics. Click on the folder where your photos are, and then I'm going to click all photos because I want to import all of these photos directly into Lightroom. And then I'm going to go ahead and hit this import button right down here. And what's going to happen is Lightroom's going to build these photos directly into my library. So now I have access to all of these. And I can go through one by one and I can view them. You can see how they kind of like slowly render in on the side. These are raw images, so they take up a lot of space, or they have a lot of information in them, which makes them better for editing. Some of these were taken with good cameras, some of these are taken with not so good cameras, but they all are in a raw format, which is super important. I'm going to give you guys a quick tip right now. When it comes to importing your photos directly into Lightroom, once we get to this stage, you'll notice that if I click on them, it kind of takes a while for the photo to render out. Like, it doesn't quite hit right away. Keep in mind that I have a very beefy computer, so it's going to handle this better than like a regular laptop or anything else like that. If we want, like if I have a project that's 300 files deep, like I just went to do a photo shoot or something like that, and I have 300 photos that I need to quickly look through, what I can do, it's going to save me time in the long run when it comes to looking at some of these photos, is I can head straight up to Library, then I can go to Previews and build one-to-one previews. What the one-to-one previews is pretty much going to do, I can choose to build for one image, or I can choose to build for all. We're going to go ahead and click build all, and you can see up here it says building one-to-one previews. What that is going to do is it's going to pre-render out your photos, so that way when you click on them, they're not hazy and then they lock into its full resolution so you can edit them. It's going to take some time if I have multiple photos. Even with beefy computers, it takes some time. So go get yourself some coffee, get yourself a snack or something, because you're going to be sitting here for a while doing quite a bit of edits. Once it's done, it's going to say build one-to-one previews were built or already exist for 6 photos because we just built them, and I can go ahead and hit OK. And what that means now is when I head into my develop tab, this is the most important one that we're going to work with, it's going to automatically render in those photos, so I don't have to wait for them to go ahead and build and take some time. They're going to go ahead and lock into place, and these are going to be all of the photos that we're going to kind of sit down and work with over time and do quite a few things with if it comes down to like editing and things like that. Alright guys, and that's it. All you have to do is make sure to set up your catalogs and build your one-to-one previews so that your editing process is much faster and much simpler. Don't forget to follow me on social media to keep up to date with everything that's happening with the channel. And if you guys have any extra questions, don't forget to ask them in the comment section below. Anyways, guys, that does it for me. As always, I'm off like a prom dress, and I will see you in the next one.